Why? Why do you do it? Why? Why get up? Why keep fighting? You believe you're fighting for something, for more than your survival? Can you tell me what it is? Do you even know? Is it freedom or truth? Perhaps peace? Could it be for love? Why? Why do you persist? Because I choose to.
Alright, since Siege Breaker's dropped, I've been putting every single piece of this Warbond through real missions across bugs, bots, and squids. Some of this gear is insanely strong and has sparked up a lot of conversation, so in this video, I'm breaking down what's actually worth running, what needs changes, and how these weapons perform when things get chaotic, not just on paper. Let's get into it. Let's start with the standout of the entire Siege Breaker Warbond, the hammer. This thing is easily one of the best support weapons we've gotten in a long time. The hammer is a melee support weapon fitted with a breaching charge that has heavy anti-tank penetration, and the damage is just barely shy of being able to one-shot almost everything in the game. Chargers, flesh mobs, hulks, all gone in a single hit. Enemies like war striders or harvesters usually take 2 to 3 blows, but even then, this thing deletes priority targets faster than most traditional anti-tank options. What really makes the hammer special is how decisive it feels. You commit, you swing, and the problem disappears. The one downside, and I understand why people are talking about it, is the ammo economy. You only get 7 charges in reserve, which means you can burn through them quickly if you're careless. Because of that, the hammer is at its absolute best when paired with a supply pack. With that combo, this weapon turns into an execution tool that can solve almost any threat you run into. If there's one item from this Warbond that I'd call a must-try, it's this. Next up is the Trident, and honestly this is a really solid addition to the primary weapon lineup. The Trident is a laser assault rifle with a scattershot modification, very similar to what we've seen in the Fallout games. It has 3 magazines in reserve, light armor penetration, and it absolutely chews through hordes when used correctly. After testing it across all factions, I can confidently say this weapon shines the brightest against Illuminate. It shreds voteless and absolutely melts overseers. When paired with a machine gun support weapon, it feels even better. You clear trash with the Trident and let the MG handle sustained pressure. It's also quite effective on bugs, especially for wave clearing, though you do need to keep an eye on heat buildup. It's very easy to get carried away holding the trigger and suddenly feel yourself overheating at the worst possible moment. Against bots, it's probably at its weakest, but it's still absolutely viable. Overall, this is a weapon that rewards control over panic firing, and if you play it that way, it feels great. Now let's talk about the Leveler, because this thing is honestly a gift from Managed Democracy itself. The Leveler is an expendable support rocket launcher, essentially the bigger brother to the Ultimatum. Think of it as a reset button. The AoE is massive, the damage is absurd, and it can one-shot nearly every enemy in the game, including factory striders. If you're overwhelmed, pinned down, or things have gone completely sideways, the Leveler turns chaos into silence instantly. The only real drawback is positioning. If you fire this thing too close, there's nothing saving you from the blast, unless you're using the next item on this list. The shield grenades honestly surprised me more than I expected. They use the same technology as the shield generator backpack and stratagem, but condensed into a handheld throwable. You can carry 4 by default, and being able to spawn cover on demand is huge. These grenades are fantastic for stabilizing bad fights, holding ground, or setting up aggressive plays safely. One of the coolest interactions is pairing them with the Leveler. You can fire the rocket right outside the bubble and survive the blast. They shine the most against bots and Illuminate, but they are also viable on the bug front, especially for things like Bile Spewer Seeds. This is one of those tools that doesn't look flashy on paper, but ends up saving you more often than you expect. The belt-fed grenade launcher is complicated. It's a backpack support weapon with 100 grenades in total, but it's noticeably weaker than the standard grenade launcher. The damage is lower, the AoE feels smaller, and because it requires a backpack slot, it ends up feeling more like a side grade than an upgrade. It is effective for crowd control, especially against bugs, and it's viable across all factions, but it never really made me want to choose it over the standard grenade launcher. Unless this weapon gets some tuning, I personally won't be running it much. It's not bad, it just doesn't feel worth the trade-offs. Finally, let's talk about the new armor passive, Supplementary Adrenaline. This passive allows you to regain stamina when taking damage and provides a higher armor rating. After spending time with it, I'll be honest, I don't find it particularly useful. The stamina refund is fine, but compared to the other armor passives we have, it just doesn't stand out. There are simply better options that provide more consistent value without requiring you to take damage first. That said, the new drip on the armor is cool. If you're running it for aesthetics, I completely understand, but from a pure performance standpoint, this passive isn't doing much for me at all. So when it comes to ranking the Siege Breaker Warbond, I looked at 3 things: how it actually changes the game, how often I'll realistically use it, and whether it feels worth the super credits long term. In terms of power and impact, I don't think this Warbond is groundbreaking. It doesn't completely redefine the meta, but it does add a really solid layer to what we already have. And honestly, I'm already rotating most of this gear into my loadouts right now, which says a lot. For versatility, the things I enjoy here, I enjoy a lot. There's clear potential to create some very strong builds and playstyles, especially depending on faction and team composition. And when it comes to value, I'd say it's absolutely worth the super creds right now, even if the items I don't personally love yet feel like they could get better with future tuning. Taking all that into account, I'd give the Siege Breaker Warbond a 7.5 out of 10. Not a game changer, but a strong, worthwhile addition with room to grow. Overall, the Siege Breaker Warbond brings some genuinely strong tools to the table. The hammer alone makes it worth checking out. The Trident as a solid primary with real identity, and the leveler plus shield grenades gives you some of the strongest emergency options we've seen so far. Not everything here is perfect, but there's enough value that this Warbond feels meaningful, not filler. If you've been on the fence, I'd say it's absolutely worth experimenting with, especially if you enjoy aggressive, decisive playstyles. Let me know in the comments what you've been running from Siege Breaker so far, and what you think might need buffs or tuning next. As always, spread managed democracy, and I'll see you in the next drop.